Paul George sound is about Kawhi Leonard, and it's old enough that Brian Shaw was coaching the Clippers at the time. I don't believe he's there anymore. And the rules were different for Kawhi since the very beginning. Is this surprising to you at all? When I play this sound for you, Zaslow, is it surprising to hear a star of Paul George's stature say there was one set of rules for me, but it's a different set of rules for Kawhi Leonard?
When you airball in practice, right, you got to stop play. So we could be practicing, scrimmaging. You airball a shot. You got to drop the ball, run down.
Everybody say, we'll wait.
Yeah, we'll say, we'll wait. So I do it. Everybody abides by the law.
Nobody's above the law.
Nobody's above the law. That's B. Shaw saying. You're not above the law. Go do it, right? So I've done it. Like, everybody's done it. Kawhi airballs. Right?
Everybody's looking around.
And everybody's looking around like, who's going to tell them we'll wait? So now, like, I'm looking at B. Shaw. B. Shaw don't say nothing. So then finally, B. Shaw's like,
nah, everybody's on B. Shaw's ass low key. Like, yo, B. Shaw.
We on B. Shaw ass. Like, B, you ain't going to say nothing? So finally, like, why? Like, I'm not running.
Why you sound just like straight like that?
Straight up.
Straight like that.
I'm not running. And B. Shaw, like, nobody's above the law. Like, he like, it's basketball. I'm an airball again. Like, you're not about to coach me or teach me that, like, airballing is, like, not good. It's part of the game.
That's so
I'm not running.
Yo, and then, like, 20 minutes later, somebody else airball. And Why's like, see? Like, he's like, you got it in everybody's head now. Not everybody airball.
Don't have me nervous to shoot. Like,
so he went above the law. Yeah.
That's a good Kawhi Leonard impersonation. We all heard Kawhi Leonard's act of insubordination in a couple of words in a sentence with "I'm not running." And what do you do if you're the coach in that spot? Like, what recourse do you have if you're Brian Shaw?
I think Kawhi Leonard is 100% right in that response, and he's also a dick. Because, like, if this is the way the team this is what the team does, be part of the team. Like, Kawhi's rationale is 1,000% right. But, like, are you part of the team or are you not part of the team?
I'm not running.
It's a good impersonation. It sounds a lot. It really sounds a lot more like Kawhi than it does like Paul George.
I'm not running.
And you're saying he's 1,000% right, but he's not 1,000% right. He's simply wrong. It's a team rule.
I'm not running.
No, but he's right about his explanation where it's if I shoot an air ball, it's part of the game. What? There's nothing like inherently wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. He's right about that.
I'm
part.
not running.
Zaz, he's not right by just telling his coach, I'm not doing what is a team rule for everyone else.
I'm not running.
That's why he's a dick.
I'm not running.
So he's right, but he's a dick?
You could be right and a dick.
Did y'all hear Kawhi when they asked him about the team's chances this year in the playoffs? He was like, oh, nah, we through this year. It's not so many games left.
He didn't even pretend. He didn't even try and give them something that just faked its way
He said
through.
that window is closed.
Yeah. There have not been a lot of superstars in the history of the league like him. I think Stephen A. Smith is way too hard on him when he says he's the worst superstar in league history because he did win a championship in Toronto and knocked out the Warriors of Golden State. And like there's never been anybody with his resume of championships that's viewed the way that he's viewed. Like that I could have made the argument based on that famous clip of LeBron James in his prime looking over his shoulder when Kawhi's checking back into the game and LeBron's like, bleep, we missed our opportunity to do something while he wasn't in the game. His legacy is going to be so confusing to people on what to do with what it is that he chose to do with the last part of his career, because you don't normally have that kind of centerpiece at the center of championships that's regarded by a whole lot of people as at best a mystery, right? That's the most positive way that I can frame it, right? We have talked We've talked before about Russell Wilson playing his way out of the Hall of Fame. What has Kawhi Leonard, with the mercenary nature of what he's done to ultimately destroy the future of the Clippers, how's that all going to be remembered? Is it going to be remembered as a great champion? Because there aren't a whole lot of guys that win that many championships and do it in multiple places. And the second time, or the third time, excuse me, or is it the fourth time? Is it the third time or the fourth time? Does it largely by himself in Toronto. Pascal Siakam is your second best player. It's hard to win a championship.
He's going to be remembered as the guy who was Finals MVP twice, because it's not as if, like with Russell Wilson playing his way potentially out of the Hall of Fame, that has not been Kawhi Leonard. When Kawhi Leonard plays, he's still really, really great. It's not like we're watching a shell of himself out there. He just isn't out there enough. But when he is, he's always the best player on the floor.
He's probably the best player in the league this year. Yes. He is having the best statistical year of his entire career. But our guy Pablo just comes out and throws dirt on his name where he's not even getting voted as an all-star, which is just poppycock.
And I also think that how the world works now, unfortunately, he gonna be the brother we remember for not planting them trees, man, because the scandal stick. I don't know too much positive about Ronald Reagan. I know what he did wrong, though.
Was it Iran-Contra?
The news that came out last week about Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, saying, I've got a way to make the All-Star game even better than it already was this year when the players did us the courtesy of caring. I'll get them to care even more by making it $1 million for the three-point competition if you win it, and $1 million if you're in the dunk competition. I thought as soon as I heard it, wow, that's really smart. Wow, that's dystopian. That you have to all of a sudden get millionaires in order, because I think you'd get them to participate in those contests if you put the bonus out there like that. But I also think that it's really offensive that you have to do that in order to get them to do that on top of their salaries.
Yeah, your third thought should have been like, this is salary cap circumvention.
That's what Amin told us.
Which is like, Amin kind of dismiss it out of hand, to which like Ishbia has other companies that can maybe step up and sponsor, but as we know with aspiration, that could be problematic too. So the idea may work out, but Ishbia certainly can't be behind it, at least as he laid it out.
All of this stuff has to be collectively bargained, but when Adam Silver, Amin can dismiss it, as he's dismissed all of the Kevin Durant burner talk, because he has more information than most of the people gossiping about it. You can dismiss it, but once Adam Silver puts all things on the table, I don't think you can dismiss it, because they've got to fix that portion of the weekend as well. If they've already made the changes to fix the game itself, they also have to fix the other part. And if they don't do it that way, the idea by itself is something that can work.
Right. You mentioned it has to be collectively bargained. I don't know if it has to be, because Adam Silver just changed it. Like we had something different from one year to another year, and I don't know if there was a round of negotiations or if this was all handled in a back room.
Money. When there's money involved, it's not about effort. He changed the game. He didn't change the way people can make money. Once you throw money into the mix, it's got to be collectively bargained how it is that all gets split up. But it's not surprising to me at all that Ishbia, like, this is a funny thing, right? When you think of how things in sports are changing and Draymond Green's real problem there with what it is that he was saying is with the media. Pat McAfee also has a problem with the media. And I don't know if you saw that Pat McAfee, his new agent, I think, is the guy who was being portrayed by Jeremy Piven in Entourage, who runs Hollywood.
Ari Emanuel, right?
Ari Emanuel, correct. Ari Emanuel is Pat McAfee. If he's not his agent, he's out here saying, I want to make Pat McAfee the next Sylvester Stallone. That's what I want to do with McAfee. To see Ishbia, a new kind of owner, who comes from allegedly a whole lot of predatory lending in what it is that he does to get to the top of the food chain, the same way that Dan Gilbert does, to see McAfee, who's doing multi-$100,000 field goal competitions, just sit there with a billionaire and say, how do we fix this? Can we do it with millions of dollars? And have it get the attention of players? Because how many players do you think are listening to that and are saying, yeah, I wouldn't have done the dunk competition. I wouldn't do the three-point competition. But if you give me $1 million clean for winning the thing, all of a sudden now you turn an exhibition weekend into something that's a gambling weekend for the players. You're allowing the players to do something that feels like gambling and filing it under competition. It's a good idea.
I don't know if it feels like gambling. Think about Unrivaled. They did the one-on-one competition, and it was $250,000, right, Juju, to the winner? And that is the same amount as a max contract. So let's do the one-on-one for the NBA, and let's make it the size of a max contract.
I like the idea of there being a huge grand prize like that for the slam dunk, and like a fight breaks out because Julius Erving holds up like a 9 instead of a 10 on the final dunk.
We hadn't considered that. Yes, Wembanyama grabbing Julius Erving by the back of the head and just dragging an old man around the court because he's lost $1 million on something subjective.
I mean, what would have happened that year a few years ago where Dwayne Wade rigged it for Derrick Jones Jr. to beat, who was it, Aaron Gordon?
Aaron Gordon.
In the slam dunk. Imagine us for $1 million.
Jeremy, I may need one of your drawstring investigations to find out how this story had anything to do with Pat McAfee. Yeah. Can we reverse engineer the Pat McAfee to Matt Ishbia link?
Ishbia was on McAfee's show when he gave the idea.
There it is. All right, because like the Sylvester Stallone Pat McAfee bit didn't feel like it was important contextually to reshaping the All-Star game.
Also, since we mentioned Pat McAfee, I would like to just give my boy a round of applause right quick. Give the Pat McAfee, man.
Why?
What are we applauding?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know.
It was established last week.
Okay, I feel left out. That's good on my own show. So Ishbia is an owner who thinks a little bit differently than most owners. And what I'm saying about McAfee and the link is seeing those two people turn the All-Star game into a game show where they have to offer the superstar millions of dollars beyond their salary is a good idea that is playful and also something that I believe Silver will take under advisement to figure out how to do something like that so that you make competitive people compete over an amount of money that matters.
I mean, well, if you're running it by Pat McAfee, giving money away to anybody seems to be a very effective thing for the brand. It usually works with him. The ratings bear this out. People love watching other people compete for big sums of money. That's worked for Pat.
You know about that giving away money, Dan?
Yeah, I do know about that giving away money, Zaz.